And so rainforests are like jungles. They are very thick, wet forests. And so that's why it's known as the rainforest. So there's different kinds of plants and trees and animals that live in this type of habitat. It's so big that it has 4 different layers. It has the emergence, the canopy, the understory, and the forest floor. And so if you look at the bottom of page 81, that's where rainforests are the darker green. That's where, and I told you the largest one is in South America. It's called the Amazon rainforest. Has anybody heard of the Amazon before? No?
Smell wild
So
crabs.
yeah, the
I have
Amazon,
a movie about it.
wild crabs, yep. So the Amazon is actually the largest. It's actually, as you can see, in South America, okay? And they have some in Africa and in Asia. All right, so 82, that's where I'm at. I'm just kind of going over those pages we did yesterday.
Okay.
So the emergent layer is the highest layer in the rainforest. Usually that's mainly just trees. Those trees are kind of like an umbrella. They take in most of the rain that comes from the, the weather and stuff. The rain, for that part of that layer, the emergent layer, will soak up most of that rain. It has a waxy coating on their leaves that allows them to not dry out from the rain. So mostly monkeys and sloths and butterflies and birds, animals who usually have strong arms and wings or strong tails, will live in this layer. Animals who live high up in trees will live in the emergent layer. So that's the highest layer of this habitat. Okay, next we have the canopy, which is on page 83, the canopy layer. And so that layer is right underneath the emergent. This is also, we're still inside the trees. We're not down on the floor yet. We're in the trees. So this layer is protected from a lot of the weather that changes. And that's why I said the emergent is like an umbrella. It protects the canopy from a lot. So you have a lot of vines and mosses and flowers and ferns in this area. Not much sunshine, not much rain. It's hot and it's darker in this area compared to the emergent layer. So you have snakes that live here, like the boa constrictor. You have toucans, that bird, and you have tree frogs as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our next layer, page 84, the understory layer of the rainforest. Okay, let's see. All right, Cadence, your hand was up first. Go ahead.
My point is the understory layer. The understory layer is between the
Canopy
and the forest floor. This layer is home to many different insects, frogs, and lizards that eat insects. Lives there. Predators such as jaguars and leopards spend much of their time on the understory. The understory is a hot and damp place. It is also darker because the emergent and canopy layer block most of the sunlight and rain. God designed the plants and animals that live in this layer to survive well in this kind of habitat.
Good. Okay, so the understory, we're going to keep going. So we went from emergent, the top, to canopy, and now we're not on the floor just yet. We're like close to the ground, though. We are, because a lot of the animals that live in this area can live in trees and on the floor. And so frogs and lizards live there, and jaguars and leopards, which are predators. There are some of the predators inside of the rainforest. They live inside of the trees in this area as well. And also they will walk, on the forest floor. So the understory is like the lower part of trees, okay? So like I said, some of those animals will live not only in the trees, but also on the forest floor as well. So because it is so far down and there's a lot of trees blocking it, like from the emergent and canopy, it's hot there and it's very dark there. So a rainforest is known for being hot, okay? It's not a cold place. Even in the winter, it's not a cold place. It is going to be warm, hot, or damp pretty much every time you go there, okay? And it's also dark in this area as well. Has anyone seen the Jungle Book before? The movie The Jungle Book? Think about that movie. It's kind of dark because they live in the rainforest and it's really dark in that there. It's not really bright. That's an example of a rainforest, okay? All right, so let's keep reading. 85, let's go to the bottom layer, which is the forest floor. Okay, go ahead, Cullen.
The forest floor is found at the very bottom of the rainforest. It is very dark on the forest floor. Very little light and wind gets through to this layer. This makes the forest floor very hot and very damp. What did God create to live in this layer of the rainforest? Fungus. Fungi can be found here. Some kinds of fungi are mushrooms, toadstools, and moss. Fungi grow well in the dark and help decay dead plants. Termites and worms also help make the soil better for the plants of the rainforest by adding nutrients to the soil.
Okay, so this is the bottom of the rainforest. This is the forest floor. So of course, this is going to be the darkest part of the forest. It's hot there. No wind, no rain really gets to this part. So that's why it is like that. So what lives here? Fungi, okay? So fungi is like mushrooms. Has anyone had mushrooms before? Have you eaten mushrooms or you've heard of a mushroom? You've heard of mushrooms though. Do you know what mushrooms are?
I love mushrooms.
I haven't tried
Yeah,
one.
so you could eat you could eat some mushrooms. You could eat some mushrooms, not all, but some. And so toadstools as well, and moss and fungi. But fungi has to grow here because fungi will help to decay the plants. Remember, decay means to die. So the fungi helps the plants to die, which fertilizes the ground. So it's a good thing that's actually happening. So also termites live in this area. If you don't know what termites are, they feed off of wood.
Yep.
They're like small, they're smaller than ants, but they eat off of wood. That's what they do. They eat wood. And so worms also help. So termites and worms, though, they help the soil in this area, the forest floor. Okay? So that's the 4 layers. We have the emergence, canopy, understory, and the forest floor, the 4 layers. So the further we go down, the darker or the lighter it gets?
Darker.
So the further we go down, the hotter or the colder it gets?
Colder.
Hotter. There's no cold in the Amazon at all. Hot. Yeah. Okay, so good. So that's the 4 layers. All right, let's keep reading about the rainforest floor with the animals that live in this part. All right, anybody would like to read? Okay, go ahead, Chaz. You have to unmute.
Where were we?
86, the top.
Predators like tigers prowl the rainforest floor. You might eat plants of gorillas, wild pigs, and anteaters feeding off the plants. An insect that lives here.
Good. So predators that live on the forest floor, of course, we know the tiger, he would be the top. Gorillas, wild pigs like boars would live there as well. And anteaters, they mostly eat off of the plants though. But tigers, they hunt for other animals. Of course, we already know that. Okay, so an example of a food chain would be a tiger. He would eat an antelope that lives in there, and then the antelope would eat plants. Or we have a jaguar. He would eat the tree snakes. The tree snakes eat the birds, and then the birds will eat the seeds. So that's examples of food chains inside of the rainforest, okay? All right, let's talk about the food in a rainforest. All right, go ahead, Austin.
Because the rainforest is thick with plants and trees, there is plenty of food for all of the animals and insects that live there. Do you remember that God designed to keep the habitats balanced?
Yes, so the rainforest is thick with plants and trees, so there's enough food for all the animals that live there. We know that food chains keep it balanced. Okay, shelter. Shelter, page 87. All right, go ahead, Cadence. Nobody read. Same people.
You might think the tiger would be easy to see, but in Asia, where he lives, he blends right in with his surroundings. Tigers usually don't live in the open grassland. Instead, they live where the plants are thick with the that
Grasslands.
no,
Oh, vegetation.
yeah, vegetation. The rainforest is a perfect habitat for the tiger. Tigers need a place to hide while they are hunting their prey. They use their stripes to help them blend in with the rainforest plants.
Good. So we have, for example, shelter. A lot of the animals just kind of live, like we said, in the trees and stuff like that. But tigers, their stripes actually blend in. Tigers really live in Asia, okay? Their stripes actually blend in with their habitat. That's why they can hunt like they can, and they can catch their prey like that because they are camouflaged whenever they're hiding. I mean, in this picture, this isn't the best because we can see him, but there are examples, which tomorrow we'll look at some videos where you can't even see him at all. And, you know, that's unfortunate for whoever he's hunting for because they won't be able to run away in time, right?
Yeah, watch out, real cartoon.
Yeah, so good. All right, so let's keep reading 88 and then we are done. I'm gonna go ahead and finish. God designed the rainforest perfectly, didn't he? Much of the medicine we use today comes from rainforest plants. God is so good to give us medicine when we're sick. If God cares enough about animals to create a habitat for them, how much more does he care for us? And that is true. So these were all the animal habitats that they live in. So we can name many types of animals and we know exactly what habitat they are from. So this is the rainforest habitat. It has 4 layers. In each layer, it gets darker and hotter as you go further down into the rainforest. Rainforest you can find in South America, Africa, and Asia. The largest one, the Amazon, is in South America. Okay, and so we have many different animals. All right, so that's our science.